Hey everyone, welcome to the Nostalgia Effect, the podcast where we examine movies from our childhood through the lens of adulthood. I am Amy, and we have Joe.
Yeah, and we have a special guest too.
Kermit the Frog.
That's
Oh
not true.
my
He's not
god,
here.
he's not here.
We can't get him. Are you kidding me?
We got Johnny.
Yeah, you have me
We
at
could
best.
barely get Johnny.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, everybody.
So, we are going to talk about Muppet Treasure Island today in what Joe is calling our...
Treasure Trilogy.
Yay!
It's the last one of our Treasure Trilogy. But before we get to
I didn't
the
even know
final...
we were doing a treasure trilogy.
I don't think any of us
I
knew.
think we accidentally stumbled into it, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
We did. It's true. That's how it happened.
But before we get into the last episode, we got some talking trailers and stuff.
Yeah. Amy, I think you had a thing first, yes?
Yes, it is. As most of you guys know, we are massive fans of Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm. Massive,
And,
like hugely fat fans
like,
of Harry Potter.
we're like Hagrid-sized fans of Harry Potter. And speaking of Hagrid, segue.
Good segue.
Good
We're
segue.
going to be talking about the new Hagrid ride. It's called Hagrid's Magical... It's a mouthful of a name. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure Ride.
That's what she said. Super late.
Especially
but,
after Hagrid.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
It is opening up in...
What was the name of the ride? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Say it one more time, Amy.
Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure.
That is a mouthful.
That is.
It is an immersive roller coaster experience that is opening up at Harry Potter World in Orlando. Harry Potter World is not the technical term for it.
It is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Thank you, Joe. I call it Harry Potter World. Shortcut in my phone is Harry Potter World.
I think everybody calls it Harry Potter World.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Harry Potter Land. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but sadly, it's only going to be in Orlando. It's not going to be here at Universal Studios Hollywood.
So we're buying our tickets tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna go. I wouldn't say let's go in June because it opens in June, but maybe in 2020.
Maybe in 20 years we can go.
But when it was first announced, probably 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, by the time this episode airs, Joe and I, Johnny, I don't think you looked at these pictures with us. I found some aerial shots of the construction being done and some concept art that is really, really cool.
That is cool.
But
So you don't have any more like information on like what the ride actually
no,
is?
it's an immersive experience where you're riding on Hagrid's, like the sidecar of
Yeah.
Hagrid's motorcycle.
Which is really Sirius Black's motorcycle.
True. And from the looks of the pictures that Joe and I saw, it's going to be going through, at least the concept art makes it look like it's going to be going through the grounds of Hogwarts. You're maybe queuing in a line in Hagrid's hut, like you load in on Hagrid's hut. You go through the grounds, you see a bunch of different magical creatures, you probably go under the lake, you go into the kitchens and see house elves.
Wait, is this all from the concept art?
This is what the concept art looks like.
Leaked concept.
Yeah, leaked concept art and some overhead aerial shots. That's redundant. Some aerial shots
That are
of
overhead.
the construction, which this is the only thing about it that I have an issue with, is that it took out my favorite ride at Islands of Adventure, the Harry Potter World and Islands of Adventure in Orlando. It took out the Dragon Challenge, which is mine and my sister's favorite ride, because you can just literally go on it on a loop for you can probably go on it 5 times in a 30-minute loop because the ride is super short, the lines are always pretty short, and it's a pretty fast roller coaster because you get like 2 rides in one pretty much. So yeah, I'm very upset, but I'm also very excited because the concept art looked super cool.
So much of Amy's life can be summed up by being both upset and excited. At
Yes.
the same time. About the same thing.
Yeah.
About Harry Potter mostly, but
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly Harry Potter. So, I don't know if you guys... I know, Johnny, you haven't gone to Harry Potter World. Joe, you have.
I've
I have.
never been to
And-
Florida.
Yeah, so... And I know you didn't ride the Dragon Challenge while you were there because you're not a huge fan of roller coasters.
Well, no, you know what's funny is it's not that I'm not a huge fan of roller coasters. I can either take them or leave them. It's not necessarily on the top of my list, but I also have a good amount of fun when I'm on them.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like lukewarm on them.
Yeah.
Sarah, my girlfriend, loves roller coasters. And so I don't know why we didn't ride this one. I want to say she thought, because is Dragon Challenge the one that was reskinned from some pre-existing thing?
Yeah, it was like a dual, it was like a dual roller coaster.
But it had been there before.
It had been there before, and
just
then they
put, like, threw,
reskinned
like,
it,
some,
gave it a Tri-Wizard makeover for the queue.
Yeah. So I know exactly why then. Because I asked, do you want to ride this? Knowing that she loves roller coasters. And she was like, no, that one's just like a lame roller coaster that they made Harry Potter.
Ha.
And so that's why we didn't.
I mean, the roller, like, the ride is, it's like an okay ride, but the fact that, I think the reason that my sisters and I liked it so much is because the queue is really awesome. You feel like you're underground in some tunnels. You're waiting to go to the first challenge of the Tri-Wizard tournament. Mm-hmm. And then you go on this, and you can go onto 2 different rides. And then while you're on the rides, you can see the castle, you can see Hagrid's hut, you see the Buckbeak ride, which I wish that they had taken the Buckbeak ride out, which they might have. I didn't look too closely.
Is that the one that's also
it's also here, and it's like
it fucking sucks.
It's a kiddie ride.
It's pretty terrible.
It's like those dragon rides that you get at like the state fair.
Like the carnival ones.
Yeah, that they build in 5 minutes.
I remember not the last time, but I think the first time that I actually went to Harry Potter World, I wanted to do everything, and that ride, the line for that ride was the longest wait time of all the rides that I went on for some weird ass reason.
Well, because
it sucked.
They don't have the
like
single rider line for that. They do, I think, have Express Pass for that, which is so stupid.
Why?
It's the only ride that they have Express Pass for.
For the Hippogriff one?
Yeah. At least from memory, that's the only one that they had at the Islands of Adventure. They don't think they had Express Pass even for the castle ride, which I feel like would be the more important one to have Express Pass, but I think they changed that. And they have Express Pass. At least they do here in LA. I know, because when we went, the 3 of us went, I remember seeing the Express Pass line when we were going for single rider.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that and talk about
Harry Potter rides.
New Harry Potter ride. I'm trying to talk my parents into taking a family vacation.
When is it going to be done?
It says it's opening June 2019.
So this year?
Yeah, they're really far along.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had like a good portion done. They had the the show building was done, the queue was done, and I think some of the castle,
track,
they had the track done. I think they were adding in water too.
So it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah,
okay. Definitely roller coaster.
It's an immersive roller coaster, so it's gonna be like maybe like roller coaster plus some of the stuff that's in like the castle ride.
Yeah. Well, like slower bits and faster bits. It's not gonna be like you're tearing ass through the whole time.
Gotcha. So
yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. I mean, I'm probably gonna love it because it's Harry Potter, but and you get to see all the magical creatures, and I'm really excited if we do get to go to the kitchens, because that was always my favorite place in all of the books.
Yeah, there's a section of the ride where it looks like you go through the Hogwarts kitchen, which looks pretty cool because it's basically right next door to the Hufflepuff house, which is Amy and I are Hufflepuffs.
Yes,
right
proud
next to the kitchen.
Hufflepuffs.
Fucking losers.
Johnny hates us because he's a Slytherin.
Down in the dungeon.
What's up, guys?
No gang
hanging
signs.
out in the dungeon.
No gang signs on the podcast.
That's where the cool kids hang out and smoke cigarettes.
Well, Joe, I think you had something really quick too.
I did. So I was watching last week The Dark Knight, the great Christopher Nolan.
One of the greatest superhero movies of all time.
Yeah.
That I don't consider a superhero movie. I consider it a noir.
It just happens to be a superhero film. And at some point, we were watching and Sarah says, it's crazy how far DC has fallen. And I was like, yeah. And it's like, I think about it, but not in those terms. In the 11 years or 10 and a half years that Dark Knight. Amy, you have a question? Her hand is up.
Is this going to be a trilogy of Joe's rants also?
I think it's going to be, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as I get older, I complain more.
So are you going to get up on your soapbox?
Yeah, excuse me. All right, up here. Oh, God. I mean, regardless of the quality of what you think of the DC films, what I think is kind of shocking is the lack of direction they seem to have.
Yes.
We were just talking about today, not only has Will Smith left Suicide Squad 2, but Idris Elba is in talks to replace him.
Yeah.
And it just made me think about all the other stuff that's happened, all of the other drama that's happened with the DC films. I mean, you've got Ben Affleck leaving. You have Henry Cavill being kind of unknown in his involvement in the DC universe. You have them making a Wonder Woman film that will probably be as successful as the original. They had a successful Aquaman film, and then the first thing they did after the success of that film was announce a spin-off movie that has none of the main characters from Aquaman involved, the Trench, that's going to feature the creatures from that movie. And then some weeks later, they announce Aquaman 2, which is sort of mind-boggling. Meanwhile, there's no news about a Flash movie, which has been in and out of production hell since the moment they cast Ezra Miller. So it's just weird. This they cannot get their messaging straight. And meanwhile, they're like, we're making interconnected movies, but we're going to have this standalone Joker movie and with Joaquin Phoenix, but we're also maybe going to do a standalone Joker movie with Jared Leto. And we've got a Birds of Prey movie that's got Margot Robbie, but isn't necessarily it's like she's essentially Harley Quinn's getting her own movie, she was a big hit from Suicide Squad, so it makes sense, but it's just they are all over the place.
How long ago did that movie come out? I feel like
Suicide Squad?
I feel like
it won its Oscar in 2016.
So it came out summer of 2015, August 2015.
Jesus,
I think.
I feel like it's been
a long time. They are. It's like DC needs to take some fiber to squeeze more movies out, because in the time since I wish I could remember. I wish I did the math once, or not the math, but the counting, which is most of the math I can do. Between Man of Steel, which I think is the first of this wave of DC's interconnected.
Which is was it supposed to be though? I feel like Man of Steel was just like they were like, hey, let's make a Superman movie, because that was Nolan, right? Nolan was producing it.
He was producing it, but it had nothing to do with
the interconnected.
Well, it had nothing to do with his Batman. His Batman lived in his own thing. There was never going to be a thing. Mm-hmm. But I think they were always going to make interconnected.
No, I know, but officially it starts with Man of Steel.
Yes.
But was that the plan from the get-go? Because I don't remember Man of Steel being...
This is why they are so messed up, is because they don't know where they start and where they end. They're like a snake eating its own tail.
Yeah. But if you look at when that movie came out, all the way to now, and how many DC films have come out, so something like twice as many Marvel films have come out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, how many DCEU movies, the new stuff, have they either made or have talked about making or have planned to make, is about the same as all of the Marvel films that have come out in the last 10 years.
Yeah. Okay, so...
that are well done.
So there have been, let's see, hang on, this is going to probably take longer than maybe some editing will be involved here.
Okay.
Okay, because they've had Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman. So that's six movies, right? My fingers were counting. So 6 movies. Okay, they've had 6 movies since 2013. Marvel MCU films,
because they have 2 a year now.
Sometimes 3.
Yeah, sometimes it's
they're doing 3 this year.
So from 2013, Marvel had Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Captain America: Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Thor: Ragnarok, Black Panther, and Avengers: Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and now Captain Marvel.
Okay, so...
I lost count of my fingers.
That was 13. That was double, plus 1.
Plus 1.
And half of those were 2 movies for each Avenger.
Yeah.
2 Captain America movies, 2 Thor movies, 2 Ant-Man movies.
2 Guardians of the Galaxy.
2 Guardians movies.
Yeah.
It's
And 2 Avengers. Did you say 2 Avengers?
No.
Yeah, but 2 Avengers, because that's Age of Ultron and Infinity War. So it's just as they're as DC's desperately trying to scrabble together some kind of plan and some kind of release slate, here's Marvel just plugging away.
Yeah, they need Kevin Feige.
They already had once the first Avengers was a massive
hit. They were
hit,
well greased and purring.
They already knew their formula. They were like, this is how we're going to do it.
But I guess my
and
problem
I think the thing with DC is that Justice League never...
It didn't hit
the way that they wanted it to hit. Because weren't they I remember initially, after Batman vs. Superman, they wanted to do Justice League. And then after Justice League, they wanted to do, like...
They were going to split Justice League into 2 films.
Yeah, right? That's right.
Mm-hmm.
2 films. And then they were going to do, like, a Cyborg movie and, like...
And a Flash
movie. A Flash movie. And each one would have, like...
Superman 2, Wonder Woman.
And none of that seems to be happening.
Yeah, but I guess the thing is it is hard to make these movies. They take a long time to make. But what is sort of mind-numbingly shocking to me is that they can't even sort of get their messaging straight about what movies are coming out and who's going to be in them and who's involved in the universe.
Yeah, because they're still technically supposed to be making a Batman movie, right?
Yeah.
No longer with, I mean, but, you know.
No Affleck, but still
but it's
Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
But maybe, I mean, because now there's, like, even less information.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like, I would say, I have not loved their films thus far, but I would say that they really need to work on communicating with their fans.
Yeah, I think the only DCEU film that I have enjoyed thoroughly is Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it more for the progress that it made in the superhero genre versus how well of a film it is and the character development and all of that.
Yeah, because that movie falls apart in the 3rd act.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
But, like, I remember having a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too.
In that film.
And that No Man's Land scene is great.
Yeah.
That's such a good sequence.
Yeah. But I'm really excited for the new one. Because it's in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm not really, like,
The 80s was such a bad time for so many things.
But just DC in general, like, Shazam looks good.
I'm excited for that because that's the first one that does not have Zack Snyder's dirty fingerprints all over it.
Yeah.
I wonder how much involvement he had in, like, the new Wonder Woman, or if that was all Patty Jenkins.
I think it's all Patty Jenkins, which will also be good.
Yeah.
Because one of the problems I had with Wonder Woman was how much felt Snydery.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I can see that. So I think we'll see. I think Shazam is going to do good. That comes out next month.
Next month. Yep.
Very excited for
Yeah,
that.
we're getting into
summer movie season.
Getting close to it's going to be
Which
exciting.
kind of starts
Yeah,
earlier
Captain
and earlier
Marvel
now.
comes
It
out
really does.
This week?
tomorrow for us recording, but when this episode airs, it'll be out for like a week and a half.
But I'm excited now, and that's what counts.
Yeah, I've been hearing some good things. I kind of got bored of the advertising for it. The trailers, there was so much stuff coming out. I was just like, I am kind of done. It does not look as good as anymore as much as I had the first like initial or 2 trailers.
And that's why I watch the teaser, and then I don't watch anything else. I actively avoid.
Yeah. I haven't watched. They've released like maybe 10 clips in the past like 3 months, and I haven't watched any of them. I think I've watched like the first 2 trailers.
Yeah.
And then if I just like happen to see a teaser,
Well, let's
let's
move
get off.
on.
Yeah.
I'll get off the soapbox. Give me a second.
Don't fall.
Ah!
We need some Foley artists in here.
Yeah.
So this was your guys' pick. So
It was. It's true.
yes.
Mainly because we didn't want to watch Luck of the Irish.
Sorry.
We needed a appropriately gold-themed movie for St. Patrick's Day, right?
Treasure.
And Treasure.
I
And then
mean,
also...
Treasure goes with St. Patrick's Day.
And it
And
mostly
Kermit the
spawned...
Frog is green.
He is. He is. He's not going to get
And
pinched.
he's small.
And he dances.
At least we're not watching Leprechaun.
But you know,
okay? I'm
It's
just
not
thankful.
easy being green.
I'm just thankful we didn't go with Joe's second choice, which was Leprechaun.
That was not my second choice.
That was your first choice.
No, it wasn't my first choice either. And it also stemmed from a joke from Johnny, which was last week when we said
Treasure
Treasure Planet
had no Muppets.
it was Treasure, it's Muppet Treasure Island in space and no Muppets.
Yeah, it's all in the titles.
Yeah. So anyway, Muppet Treasure Island. Amy, have you seen this film? Go.
I have not. Do you want to like intro it? Tell us a little bit about this.
It's
movie?
Treasure Island with Muppets. Amy, have you seen this film?
I have
Go.
not. I don't think I've seen it.
You never saw this movie?
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Like ever?
No.
Wow.
That's shocking.
Did you see like bits of it? Were you aware of it? Like
I was aware of it.
How aware of the Muppets have you been in general?
Yeah.
Where were you in the night of the 5th?
Do you even like the Muppets?
I love the Muppets.
Wait. How many Muppets movies have you seen right now?
How many Muppet friends do you have?
Yeah. How many of your friends are Muppets?
I mean, I have a acquaintance Muppet that I've never actually met.
Wow.
It's Joe's best friend. He built him from scratch.
I did. It's true.
No, but have you seen any Muppet movies?
Yeah, I watched the Muppet movie last year.
Which one?
For
Yeah,
the Muppet movie.
there's
Like,
Well, there's
two.
two. The one with Jason
original
Segel and the
one.
one. Okay.
They're both
I've
called
seen
the
that.
one that
I've
starts
seen the
with
one with
Rainbow
Jason
Connection.
Segel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just watched that one for the 1001 challenge. But I feel like I've seen other Muppet movies.
Muppets Take Manhattan.
Muppets and Great Muppet Caper.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
we had Muppet Christmas Carol
Mm-hmm.
growing up, but Scrooge scared me as a child, so I don't think I watched it
Michael
all.
Michael
Caine?
Caine. You know, Michael Caine said that that was his one of his all-time favorite roles that he ever did.
I may have to revisit it.
Yeah. Yeah, of all the stuff that he's done.
I know he seems like such a cranky old man, and that seems like so like just like a light. I mean, he is a cranky old man in that movie, but
Yeah.
just in general, he seems like that, and I feel like I don't know.
I don't think he is actually because he takes like what he does in stride, and I know that he's in Jaws 4: The Revenge, which is widely known to be a terrible
best
film.
Jaws?
Oh yeah, the best Jaws. And he said something along the lines of, "No, I've never seen that film, but I understand it's quite terrible, but the house it bought was lovely."
Cool.
Anyway, so you had never seen this film ever?
Shocking.
Not even bits of it.
I am shocked.
I don't think so.
Shocked, I
We
say.
will
To
we
find
will
the
see
scabbling
when we
here.
actually watch this
Yeah.
how much of it I remember if I have seen it.
Yeah, Johnny.
Huh?
How about what's your history with this film?
I remember renting it a lot from
Yeah.
Hollywood Video on VHS. I do. I don't remember much of it though, which is weird. The only thing that really sticks out in my mind is Tim Curry,
Yep.
Cabin Fever.
Yeah, I've got cabin fever.
That bit, and then there's a joke in there where Rizzo the Rat and Gonzo are they're like turning a wheel, and he's like hanging from the wheel, and he's
Yeah.
obviously so small that he can't actually reach
Like
the
his
ground.
legs are taken.
Yeah,
I
and
remember
so
that.
Gonzo's like, hurry up. He's like, I'm going as fast as I can. He's just like hanging from the thing, and it's always made me laugh.
I remember I saw this movie in theaters. My grandma took me to see it. I've been a lifelong fan of the Muppets.
Yeah.
And I remember it very well,
Mm-hmm.
even though I haven't seen it in years and years. I bought it when I found it on DVD, and I was like, "Oh, awesome, Muppets!" You know, and I haven't probably seen it since I bought that DVD, which was like I said, a long time ago. But
25 years ago.
could have been.
Shit, yeah.
But
I mean, this movie came out.
1996.
Yeah.
But I remember Jim Hawkins's, I don't know, she's his mom or the innkeeper, and like they're talking about something in whispers, and then she like shouts at them from down the hall, and they're like, how does she do that? and I remember that bit that I'm going as fast as I can.
as fast as I can.
And Tim Curry, the wonderful Tim Curry.
Yeah.
And what else? There was actually a lot of memories jogged for me having watched Treasure Planet. Where I was like, oh yeah, Mr. Arrow was Sam Eagle, and oh yeah, this Ben Martin Short's character Ben was Miss Piggy, and so there's like a lot of stuff that actually jogged my memory from a completely separate film.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how it compares between the two, because I think we talked about this a little bit in the last episode. I don't think either of us, Johnny or I, have seen the Treasure Island, the actual Treasure Island movie, or read the book.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know
So,
the story of
yeah.
it before. I mean, I remember,
Yeah, so I'm interested to see how the two stories compare.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And then between the two, you probably won't need to read the book.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have
We'll have
everything.
both versions, the version with Muppets and the version in space.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's between
Without
the two.
that's what the original author intended.
Yeah, Robert Louis Stevenson was like, "Yep, this is what I want from my thing."
He's not rolling in his grave.
No.
Doesn't even have a grave.
All right, let's watch this thing.
Okay.
Let's see.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, so we saw this. What did you guys think rewatching it?
I love it.
I love
it's
it
the
too.
Muppets. I mean, the thing that I just generally like about the Muppets in general, and this movie in particular, is how silly it is. How silly the Muppets are,
Yeah.
and it's like a It's like a
Aware?
self-aware silliness.
It's preposterous.
It is, and but it's so good.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
like
so
clever
good.
preposterous.
The first two notes I have is, the first one is Muppets make anything better.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the second one is, it's so meta, like any good Muppet movie.
Yeah. That bit where it's like, he died? I thought this was a kid's movie.
Yeah. And then my favorite joke was when they had the Swedish chef and he's wearing the pig snout, and then they zoom in on the tomato and he's like, well, how else did you think we're supposed to get him in here?
Yeah, that was so good. And it's funny too, because there's a lot of stuff that, like, I remember when I first saw it in theaters, I didn't know who Billy Connolly was. I know who he is now, and so I was like, oh shit, it's Billy Connolly.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but he's the first person to die in a Muppet movie, and he is damn proud of that fact.
I did see that. Yeah, it's a fine distinction.
I will say though, there are some parts of this that I remember,
Really?
but not from having seen the movie. I believe most of the things that I'm going to list in a second are from watching a trailer for this on a VHS tape before movie, and I spent 30 minutes trying to figure out what that VHS tape was, and I cannot for the life of me remember. But it is the Rat Tours. I remember the Rat Tours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gonzo being stretched out, and then Bunsen doing the window shade thing.
Yeah, and Beaker like flying in.
Yeah.
Like with getting his head stuck in the in the thing. It's
a bit of the feast with Miss Piggy, but the thing that I do remember is, I remember this most clearly.
Yeah.
Is Rizzo being spun on. He goes,
Yeah.
I'm going as fast as I can.
Yeah. It's so good. He's his little legs dangling.
I just remember watching that part and saying it along with the preview. Like, I remember that being on whatever VHS tape I was going to watch. And I would not fast forward through the previews just because I wanted to watch that Muppet Treasure Island for that line.
But it's funny that you never actually saw it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Crazy.
So I do remember some parts, but not from actually watching the movie, from watching a trailer.
Well, you know what's funny? So the rat tourists, or the rats that are on vacation.
He said the Rat Terrace. I was like, oh my god, did you watch a different film?
I know. It's like I was thinking the same thing. The rat tourists, for those who can enunciate, was I watched it with Sarah, who had also never seen this film.
What?
I know.
I would love to hear her thoughts on this.
Well,
too.
she really liked it, and although she said it's ridiculous. Wait, no, not ridiculous. It's really funny how much joy you get out of this movie. Is what she said. That's the exact quote.
I can hear that in Sarah's voice.
But she said specifically the rat tourist. I think I even wrote it down here. She said it was one of the things that she loved, and she said that the rats are. She said they're straight up New York Jews on vacation in the Catskills, a la Dirty Dancing. and then I looked at her and I was like, wait a minute, if the Jews are the rats, is that kind of racist? And she kind of pauses for a second and she goes, yeah, I guess a little.
Hey, it's the 90s.
It was the 90s,
yeah.
bro.
But I do love that they're just like they're just there.
They're just there on vacation.
Yeah.
It's a vacation for them. It's pretty great. He's like, yeah, even if we don't get treasure, at least we get something.
Yeah.
Not a bust. I love Rizzo.
It's so good.
I think he's like Gonzo and Fozzie were always my favorites, but after this, I think
Mr.
Rizzo.
Bimbo, the man who lives on my finger.
You know,
The big blue
that
wedding.
was hold on, I have a thing about that on here saying Brian Henson said that Frank Oz was not originally a fan of Fozzie Bear's Mr. Bimble. Mm-hmm. However, by the end of filming, he decided that it was one of his favorite jokes.
Yeah.
And I love that because that was my favorite.
Well, so you know what else is interesting is disgraced Muppet performer Kevin Clash, who was Elmo, he puppeteered both Fozzie and Sam Eagle because Frank Oz was on pre-production for I think Bowfinger.
I don't keep talking. I'm gonna look that up because I remember seeing it.
And so Kevin Clash actually performed those two characters, and then Frank Oz came in later and like ADR'd all of the lines for those characters.
Interesting.
And but I remember he said the direction for Miss Piggy was Piggy's a truck driver who wants to be a woman. Because Piggy's so solid.
Yeah.
But like Kermie, like wants to be
I can totally see that. Not just for like Miss Piggy here, but like Miss Piggy in general. Yeah, I've never connected that, but it totally makes sense.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And that they've got such a great bit when they're hanging upside down on the cliff, you know, they're having that like heart to heart, and then the thing snaps and Kermit grabs her, and you see his eyes, and
his eyes are like bulging. It's pretty great.
This movie is so fun.
It's so much fun.
I couldn't find it to stream anywhere, so instead of renting it, I actually just outright bought it digitally.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch this all the time.
Did you happen to notice in the very beginning who composed the score for the film?
I did see
No,
that.
I did not.
It's
Wait. Amy, guess. Yeah. This would be...
You know I have Muppet... Like, I have the IMDb.
Don't cheat. I said guess. Don't cheat. It's somebody... I'll give you a hint. Somebody who has not... This was not the last pirate film he would score.
Wait, Hans Zimmer?
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer?
Yeah, he made the music for it. It's nuts. When I saw the credit roll by, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, well, because I was thinking like, "Oh, this is really epic pirate music." This is this guy wants to be Hans Zimmer, and it was like,
"This guy is
Hans Zimmer."
This is where he got the pirates' inspiration from.
Yeah,
maybe it's another gift.
I mean, the original Pirates movie was scored by Klaus Badlet, but he was a protege of Hans Zimmer, and so that's why that score feels so Zimmery. And then old Klaus, I don't know exactly why, but he didn't come back to the franchise after doing that first one. So Hans Zimmer took over for Pirates 2, 3, and 4.
I mean, the first 3 are the best.
Yeah, they're great scores.
Yeah, I have those in my scores playlist.
Yeah, they're good scores. But yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. But like, you know what else? You know what other bit reminded or stuck out from my childhood memory that was even funnier because I didn't remember the whole bit, was the roll call when they were...
Oh, that's a
yes,
good
that
bit.
was so funny.
It's like, Clueless Morgan, huh? Like, old Tom.
That was
really old Tom.
He was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good in that. I was going to say he's really good in that movie.
And then what was it, like, big, fat, ugly so-and-so,
Yeah.
and then
It's
it's
a
that woman, and she's like, yes. And then they're just like, ah. Oh, that was so good.
There was a bit that I really stuck out to me because it reminded me of something I feel like Johnny would do, or at least like Johnny's catchphrase, kind of. It's like right after like Mr. Arrow dies, dies, and it's Rizzo and Gonzo talking, and Rizzo goes, "What's wrong?" And Gonzo says, "It just feels so weird." And Rizzo says, "You mean that Mr. Arrow's dead?" And Gonzo says, "Yeah, that, and my pants are filled with starfish." And then this is the part that Johnny says, "You and your hobbies." And I was like, that is such a Johnny line.
Well, and I'd be the one with the pants full of starfish.
That's pretty funny. There's so many just good little bits. Like, even just as an adult watching it, you're just like, that's clever. That's pretty funny.
There's
like,
so many great little things.
Yeah.
And it, like details too.
Yeah.
Like Polly the crab rather than bird. Had like a fish hook. No, wait, no, it wasn't him. It was the what was he? I think I have it written here. He was a different animal. He kind of looked like a croc, but not quite. He was some kind of fish, but instead of like a nose ring, he had a fish hook in his face. Yeah. And I do remember one of the other. Let's see. Do I have it here? Oh yeah, Polly the lobster had a fish hook for a hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did see that. I remember.
Yeah,
and
I
I thought
remember
I thought that was really cool too.
I didn't remember though, even though I remember the cabin fever
Yeah.
part, I didn't remember how much singing was actually in this movie.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, there's a lot of singing because the first bit is like, a song or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, like, yeah, I don't know why I wouldn't think about it. I mean, it's a Muppet movie.
Yeah.
Muppet movies usually have a lot of singing in them.
Yeah.
But like, it just didn't cross my mind.
And I think about that bit a lot too. That I've got cabin fever. Yeah. I've got it too.
Speaking of the singing though, the kid that played Jim.
Yeah.
I was not a huge fan of his singing because he went through puberty during this, and they had to overdub his singing with old recordings of when he was like before he hit puberty.
I do remember thinking like little me was like, he sounds like a girl. Who himself probably sounded like a girl.
Yeah. Well, and they make that joke kind of in the beginning.
Yeah. Blind Pierre.
Yeah.
He's like, I've got a pretty little girl. He's like feeling his face.
And he's like, I'm not a girl. He's like, well, your voice, or I think he's like, your voice says otherwise, or something like that.
Oh, that was so funny. I will say he had a hell of a mullet
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
pirate mullet.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's also like that was I think an early '90s hairstyle,
Yeah.
but right before the bowl cut came into fashion.
Right. So, one thing that I was thinking of regarding Jim is something that we kind of touched on with Treasure Planet, which was after the fact, somebody's critique of the movie was that the whole point of Treasure Island is that Jim Hawkins is an exceptional kid for having done all these things. And Treasure Planet, Jim Hawkins is a teenager, so he ends up being like an unexceptional teenager. Because it's all stuff that you'd expect a teenager to do largely or be able to do. He's like, 14 or so. So this Jim Hawkins being significantly younger, it does have that sense of, even though it's a Muppet film, that does have that sense of like, wow, this kid's, in there with these pirates doing all this crazy stuff,
Maybe. See, I didn't, because I don't think he did all that much
Yeah,
stuff.
well, I have
He's
a
Muppets.
thing.
The
Yeah, I
Muppets
have
are the real heroes.
I have a
That's
thing
true.
in here that says Jim Hawkins was split into two characters originally, named Jim and Hawkins.
Jim and Hawkins, yeah.
For that was supposed to be Gonzo and Rizzo's characters, but then it was changed to make it a coming of age story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really get the coming of age because he really didn't
Yeah, I don't
do
feel
a
like
whole
he-
lot until the third act when he saved Kermit and Piggy,
Yeah.
and then kind of
And he didn't even really save them.
yeah, he just steered the boat. Actually, no, he
he
didn't even steer
do
the
that.
boat. Fozzie steered the boat.
Yeah.
And then he fought Tim Curry.
Not really.
Yeah,
Kermit fought him.
That
yeah.
was so great when
Which,
he's like,
I do love
And
when
then,
he's just
and
like
then
flipping
the,
it and
the
it
sword
just
stuff, he
goes-
goes, "I'm a frog, slippery hands."
I do love he's got the piggy tattooed on his
I
chest.
know. It is good.
And I did also really love that Benjamina Gunn had dated Silver as well
Yes.
as Flint. And he was like, oh, geez, you've dated
Long
them too?
John Silver.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow.
But I did think that was funny. She's like, what did you expect? You left me here. I did think it was also kind of, how there's reveals in movies that you saw so long ago that you didn't realize they were reveals. So when we very first, the best example I have is Terminator, because I don't remember a time from before I saw Terminator. So when Terminator 2 comes out, it's like, oh yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger's the good Terminator.
Yeah.
But when you first, audiences who first,
I haven't seen either Terminator, Joe.
Well, I mean,
It doesn't really
either
matter.
Terminator.
well, shit.
There's a lot of Terminator movies.
Well, the first two. I haven't seen any of them, but the first two. It doesn't matter, Joe.
Well,
I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because everyone knows.
There's more about those movies that have been spoiled for me, though. So
okay.
that's
I mean,
I
you
think
know
that
the
the statute of limitations on this one has to have passed.
yeah.
Okay. So, Terminator 2 shows up and we're supposed to think that the Arnold Schwarzenegger is there to kill John Connor just like he was in the
I don't
first
know.
one. And then it's,
Are we? I don't
Yeah.
know. I wasn't. I mean, that movie came out in '92.
yeah.
I was 2 years old. I don't was the marketing for that movie didn't show that he was a good guy? Because I can't believe that.
I don't know if
happened.
the marketing showed it, but that's the way the film is
Well, I mean, the
presenting
film
it.
treats it like that because
Yeah.
John Connor, he
Yeah.
remembers him.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, and
Or he
he's
doesn't
been
remember him, but he just
it's
knows
been
that.
burned into his mind. Like, watch out for this big
Yeah.
Austrian guy because he tried to kill my mom.
Yeah, but I don't think as the audience.
I think audience is supposed to because
is
it's a
cut-
surprise.
yeah, it is, yeah,
it's meant to be
yeah.
a surprise. And so similarly, I know Tim Curry is Long John Silver, but when we first meet him, he's behind that door
Yeah.
and he's talking. So we don't get to see it until the door swings open and we see after we've already decided we like this guy.
Yeah.
We see that he's the one-legged man that we've been warned about. And I remember thinking oh, that was actually really cool. Like that was
Yeah.
good. That was good filmmaking. That was
a
good
good
storytelling.
reveal.
Yeah, I don't think Treasure Planet waited that long.
No, we see
It's,
Silver
right
immediately,
away.
and we see the cyborg arm,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh
And
no.
he mentions it. Well, we're not like that. They mention the cyborg. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Yeah. I will.
I was gonna say I like Long John a lot better in this movie as a
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
versus Treasure Planet.
Really? See, I felt a little opposite.
Really?
Not opposite, but I mean, because Treasure Planet has more heart to it.
yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
It's more serious.
It's a more serious film.
Yeah.
It's got the father-son connection thing, and in Treasure Planet, Long John Silver's not a villain. We talked about he's the antagonist, but he's not a
antagonist, but
villain.
he's not a
Yeah.
villain.
In this one, he is the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is actually closer to sort of the source
the-
material.
yeah. So I mean, obviously, I loved Tim Curry. I love his performance as it, but it stuck more emotionally the Treasure Planet.
Yeah, I agree that it's
more complicated.
Yeah,
more
it's
interesting.
nuanced.
It's a better like character development relationship between him and Jim. But I think it might be the Tim Curry.
I mean, no,
that I
definitely
love about
and
it,
the movie
and
is
how just good he is at being bad.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, this movie is way more fun than Treasure Planet.
Yes.
But like, I noticed it a lot at the end when he sort of lets. So in this one, he like sort of lets go. Lets him get away.
Yeah, which is how it is in the book.
Yeah, yeah, I'd imagine. But it seems more like I don't know. He's like pushing him away, whereas in the other one, like he's letting him go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, because in the other one, like in this one, like it shows like Tim Curry's like boat like sinking.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no.
And then the vacation rats get the
They go
treasure.
swimming,
Yeah.
There is one line in the movie though, where he's his deception has come out, and he says, "But I do like you, Jim. I hope you don't think I was lying about that."
Yeah.
And like there's that little glimmer of that, which is also great.
I do, and I do think like obviously he doesn't. He's like, oh, I can't hurt you. Like I'm not gonna shoot you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I forget what you said. Like you liked the portrayal of Long John better in this one. And I resonated more with the other one.
Yeah, I think it's because you have more of a connection with that character through your own past. Whereas I don't necessarily have that connection to that character in that way.
Yeah.
And I love Tim Curry.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
He's great.
But I still, it's funny because I absolutely agree with you, and I did really, really love that about Treasure Planet. Like, I was so pleasantly surprised by that.
Same.
But there's also a scene that I did not remember because it wasn't like a zany, funny scene from this film. But watching it now, getting a little bit of that when Silver has loaded up the boat and he's about to go, and he's got a gun on him, and Jim's got the whistle. And they're both just kind of like playing chicken a little bit, and like
that
he
was
doesn't
pretty
want to.
intense for this movie.
It's really good. It's like he doesn't want to blow the whistle and call him out, and Silver doesn't want to shoot him.
But you see, I had that scene, but like nothing in the movie prior to that
Establishes
why Hawkins wouldn't blow the whistle.
Yeah,
I understand why.
Yeah,
Long
they never
John,
have that like bonding.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't really have that bonding thing. So I was like. He was already mad at him for being a pirate. He didn't like, for all the stuff that he did. He was already like mad. He was like, "Oh, fuck you." Not really.
Yeah.
He was like out to get him, out to to save the day.
Yeah.
And so I never got the tension of him. I got the tension of Long John because you can tell from the beginning that he generally liked this kid. He was always nice to him and whatever.
Yeah.
I could tell that he did. He was like, join me as a pirate. Like he wanted him to be on his side.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't ultimately I don't see why he wouldn't just blow the whistle. Like what was stopping him?
Right.
Yeah, I get that because
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, especially there's like that scene at the beginning where Long John has the compass and he's like dangling it off.
Yeah, and
the edge
he's like,
of the
no,
boat.
no, that's my dad's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like they're always like Jim is more butting heads with Long John more than Long John is butting heads with Jim. He's like he's always nice to Jim, whereas Jim is just like always very like, I don't like you because I don't trust you because of what Billy said.
Yeah.
Right.
So I definitely see your point on that. But it was like if it had that backstory, so maybe there's like some deleted scene or something where they do get that backstory.
Or maybe you just since we saw Treasure Planet
I
first,
had
you might have that connection between those two characters.
Would that maybe be the same thing for you, Joe, where that was like that scene felt more intense in that way?
I think so. Yeah, because you always take in, you're never watching a movie clean, right? Especially an adaptation that you've seen many times before. I think that's fair. And I think it's interesting because it's a good scene.
Yeah, it is a good scene.
Yeah.
I'm like, Tim Curry's just fucking great.
He's so good. Like I know that Tim Curry, and maybe in terms of prestige, Tim Curry is not Michael Caine, but he's so good.
Which I have a thing. After you said that thing about Michael Caine, that was his favorite role. I found a little fun fact that this was Tim Curry's favorite role as well.
Wow.
He's always said that he has been a huge fan of Muppets for years, and doing this movie. In many interviews, he has regarded this role as one of his favorites. And after shooting this, they made a Muppet in his likeness
Yeah.
as Long John Silver.
They did that for Michael Caine as well. They used to at the end of the Muppet TV series, the original Muppet show. They would present each guest with a Muppet of themselves.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, they stopped it at some point, but
I just feel like that had to be a lot of work and it was kind of time consuming, maybe.
yeah, or budgetary, something like that. So they did stop at some point, but yeah, they used to do that. And they did like appear on screen at the end with their Muppet self. I will say myself as an amateur puppeteer, one of the things that
You have a certificate.
I do have a certificate and a puppet. But one of the things that kind of leapt out at me was how action packed this movie was.
It was,
and
yeah.
like visually action wise dynamic.
Yeah,
and
there's
how
like
difficult
Kermit
that
doing
would have been.
flips.
Yeah. There's a bit when they're trying to put out the light and Gonzo is on Jim's shoulders and Rizzo is on Gonzo's shoulders and they're like stacked up. We were watching it and Sarah was like, okay, how did they do that? Where does the person go? You know?
Yeah, I was wondering that because it's like there's the scene where they have like a long shot, like a really long wide shot of Piggy and Kermit hanging, and you see Kermit's mouth moving, but it's like that could easily be an animatronic or like
robotics,
or CGI or like something because I think they did green screen with Kermit
Yeah, you
flipping. You
remember
can see the line of him.
It's all composited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that, that with them singing on top of each other, I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that makes Muppet movies just otherworldly almost, like enjoyable in such a way that you're just like, it's you know that they're not real, but they're real because they're in these situations.
Yeah.
They're,
Like-
you're viewing them in a situation where you don't see puppets.
Kermit riding a bike in the Muppet movie
Yeah.
still blows my mind.
In Muppets Take Manhattan, it's Kermit and Piggy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that clip before.
Yeah. And
And
it's,
there was another scene that I was trying to figure out how they would do it, just because it was so many Muppets. It's when Gonzo and Rizzo kind of blow up the storeroom.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone's running back and forth. I'm like, did they put the Muppets on like a block and just run them back and forth? Because that would be so many people with like running them back and forth.
there's a chance that they might have each person had two puppets, like one on each arm.
Because they wouldn't like necessarily need like the arm
Right.
things.
Right.
Yeah.
No rod work, but yeah, like this movie, I feel like actually really pushed the envelope in terms of puppeteering, especially for the action scenes.
Yeah, it was like the Muppets it was just so fun.
Yeah, it was really great, and then things like where Sam Eagle is or Arrow is on the boat and he's like inspecting it to see if it's safe. That means that the performer was like in a drum or something underneath, like in the water. And just like Henson was for the opening scene of the Muppet movie in Rainbow Connection in the swamp. He's in a drum underneath that log.
Yeah.
And so it's just like crazy to see what they do and how they do it.
Like what they'll do for their craft. It's pretty awe-inspiring.
Like it's already a pain in the ass to have your arm up in frame with your head ducked out.
Yeah.
And
we all know it from Joe's experience.
Yeah, from watching your tapes.
Yep, my Muppet tapes.
Anybody else got any more thoughts before I go on to fun facts and some recastings?
There was one thing that I thought was kind of cool and sort of surprised me was there was a lot of parallel action in this movie. Like I don't recall seeing that in other Muppet films, where they're mourning Sam Arrow and the pirates are breaking out at the same time, and then where Piggy and Kermit sing "Love Let Us Hear" while the pirates frolic in the treasure. Yeah, it's like that double meaning for the same thing, which I thought was really, really cool and like pretty advanced filmmaking.
Yeah.
And I also kind of wondered, and maybe this might be in one of your fun facts, I have no idea, but I was kind of wondering about, because this was the second of just two films where they adapted an old classic novel for the Muppets to star
Muppets.
in, previously Christmas Carol. And so I was wondering, like, they didn't do any more after that, even though this movie I think did very well. And I was like, what, like if they could have done a third, Muppets
what
starring in a classic novel, like what book would they do?
Yeah. Well, I do kind of have. This is my last fun fact. Well, actually, I have two more, but this is one of them. Is this was supposed after the success of Christmas Carol. They were going to do another period piece. So it was a toss-up between Treasure Island or a take on King Arthur. So I feel like this is my like recast for the movie.
Yeah.
Technically, it's like maybe they would have done something like Monty Python and the Holy Grail-esque, which would have been kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like I can definitely see like Kermit like fake riding a horse with like Fozzie doing the coconuts.
Oh man. Oh, that would have been so good.
Yeah.
No, let's not go to Camelot. It's a silly place.
Yeah, so that I think that maybe like a Knights of the Round Table kind of thing. It's not necessarily
Yeah.
like a book adaptation.
Well, I mean, it is.
I mean,
Once
it's a
Future
story.
King.
It's like a,
Yeah.
it's an old story.
But it that might have been where they would have gone next.
So then I wonder Gonzo probably would have been Merlin. I feel like.
Ooh, that would be good.
Although it's funny because in both Christmas Carol and Treasure Island, Gonzo is kind of there for us, the audience.
Yeah.
You know, he's actually
The audience like
it,
surrogate.
the
Yeah.
surrogate, yeah. And so I kind of wonder if that means that like Piggy would be Merlin, or no, you know what? It would be Bunsen and Beaker. So I think they would probably be like co-Merlin.
Yeah, they like split them into two.
Yeah. Just like Jacob and Edward Marley, you know, in Christmas
Well, and
Carol.
like they were gonna do with Jim
Yeah,
Hawkins.
Yeah.
I really wish that they would do.
Jacob or William Marley. Yeah, it's William Marley. Jacob and William Marley.
I
Or
kind
Statler
of
and
want to. I
Waldorf.
kind of want to see a King Arthur Muppets now.
I would love to see that. I will always watch more
Yeah.
Muppets. 'Cause I think after this they kind of did a lot of like just direct-to-video
Direct-to-video
stuff,
stuff.
which were also good. I mean, they were funny. There was like Muppet Wizard of Oz, and that was funny.
I don't think I saw that one.
Gonzo's a Tin Man, and his there's some joke about his rivets being nipples.
Oh my god.
Like, and
great.
Quentin Tarantino's in it. Like he's got
Whoa.
a cameo in
That's
it where
hilarious.
there's all kinds of shit happening in the movie, and then it cuts to Tarantino essentially pitching it to Kermit, and he's like, and then they both take out samurai swords, and then Kermit's like, and he's like, it's
So
like,
I'm gonna
I
guess
think
this
it's a
came
little bit
out
too
around the
intense.
time Kill Bill came out.
Yeah, a little bit after, yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember that, and like that was funny. And then there was the Muppet Christmas special, which was like a TV thing with Whoopi Goldberg and David Arquette. That was cute.
Maybe that's the one that I saw.
No, you know what? I know what maybe I was gonna say the last one.
I remember at Christmas
I think
something.
their last theatrical thing before they sort of got rebooted a little bit
before
was Muppets from Space, which was actually the only one that I really didn't care for. It's not a good movie, and it didn't do well. I think also. Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
But the next one,
Yeah.
the Jason Segel Muppet movie.
I actually
Really good. Really
I kind
good.
of enjoyed that. I didn't see the second
The
one.
second one
but
I
didn't see
really
the second one
liked.
either.
I really liked it.
It isn't like Tina Fey a bad guy or something.
Well, no, she merely runs the gulag that Kermit gets trapped in.
I need to rewatch the first
there's
one.
But there's no Jason Segel in it.
There's no Jason Segel, but
Amy Adams isn't in it either, is she?
no.
No,
Um,
it's none of the characters.
Ricky
from
Gervais, Tina Fey, Danny Trejo.
Muppets Most Wanted? Is
Yeah,
that what it's
Muppets
called?
Most
Yeah.
Wanted. The dad from Modern Family,
Ty Burrell.
Ty Burrell.
Oh, I thought we were going to be talking about this
Ed
with the guy,
O'Neill?
Ed O'Neill.
And you know what's funny is I didn't know Ty Burrell could sing, and he actually can, and he does a whole
I had no idea.
I
he
feel
does
like
a
I've
whole
seen
musical
him
number
singing
with Sam
before.
Eagle, and he's so good. Like it's a really good fun movie. I highly
check it out,
recommend it.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. I've seen it.
Muppets Forever.
Yeah. I like Muppets a lot.
Did you see the rebooted Muppet show on ABC?
I did. I think I'm the only one who watched it. I think I'm the only one who liked it.
Really?
But it was actually it was a lot of fun because it actually it took the Muppets, like the concept, and even though it was still for everybody,
Yeah.
it pushed them back towards where they used to be in the 70s, just like a little more grown up, you know?
well, not super more like family stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like,
more
kinda
family, not kids.
Not kiddie, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think the Muppets once I mean
I blame Muppet Babies.
yeah
I watched Muppet Babies growing up, the animated Muppet Babies.
yeah not surprised.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it was.
I
I
know.
watched it. But yeah, it just pushed it just a little bit
Yeah,
more back towards
back-
their
well, I
slightly
heard-
more
yeah, I
mature
don't-
things.
Yeah, I wanted to check it out, and then I just never did.
It was really funny and it was really cute. It was really good.
I
mean,
think
there
I maybe watched the first episode.
was I remember there was a character who they pulled some characters out of obscurity. They made good use of Pepe the King Prawn, and Chip the IT guy. who's like really whacked out looking. And there's a bit where Piggy is trying to like make Kermit jealous or like ignore him. So then she pretends to start talking to Chip, and then she's like, and then she says, "I'm not talking to you." And he's like, "But I was told when people look at me, they're talking to me." And it's just like he has no idea how to deal with people, and it's just like really funny, subtle stuff, you know. And it was a really good show, and they had great
Cameos.
like cameos, and I really liked it. I thought it was
like
really
The
good.
Office but with Muppets?
I think that's what they try to sell it as.
It's actually, honestly, more like 30 Rock, but with Muppets, because they have a weekly show that they're still trying to put on. And Kermit's a little bit of the Tina Fey, like trying to, much like the original Muppet Show, the one sane person trying to keep
like
all
Muppet
of these
Show.
crazy people in line just to make a show.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I thought it was a really fun show, but there was a lot of drama and politics
Maybe I'll have to
backstage.
find it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there were like
Watch it.
two showrunners, and they were like diametrically opposed apparently, and so like one person was like a consultant showrunner with a bigger name, so they'd come in and like bark a lot of orders and everything, and then leave, and then the other person who was there all the time wanted completely different things.
In our experience, that's how those things usually work, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one way to do it. But anyway, so I really liked the show, and I thought it was really funny and it was good. Like it was Muppets. It felt like Muppets. It didn't feel like
trying to force the Muppets into something else.
Yeah. And I liked it.
Does
I
watching
gotta check it
movies
out.
made with Muppets count as watching Muppet movies? Like Labyrinth. I've watched Labyrinth.
Well,
and
that
I
is
really,
that
really
is
loved it.
Henson Studios, but that's not Muppets.
That's not Muppets. They're puppets, but they're not Muppets.
Fun fact: do you know what Muppets actually comes from? The word Muppets?
I feel like I've read that when we went to the Muppet exhibit at Skirball,
Probably.
but I don't remember.
So that's
It's
the
been
difference
too
between you and
long.
me, Amy. So I remember everything.
Yeah, we have greatly established how well I don't remember things. It's Johnny's thorn in his side, how much I don't remember
that
stuff.
thorn is in there.
I think
though,
it's just
too.
you. Your general existence.
True.
Amy, get out of Johnny's side.
I don't want to be there.
Ouch. Jeez.
Yeah, that was hurtful.
That was really mean.
We are workplace proximity associates who have a podcast together.
But so this is a fact that I knew before we visited the Muppet
Of
exhibit.
course you did.
But Muppet comes from a concatenation of marionette and puppet. Muppet.
Yeah, I feel like you remember.
But marionettes are just puppets, so it doesn't.
Marionettes
make
are
any
puppets
You're a
on
puppet.
string.
You're a puppet.
no, you're a puppet. All right, Amy.
So
what do you got?
according to several cast and crew members, this movie was filmed mostly under the supervision of second unit director David Lane,
Yep.
as Brian Henson was too sick to work on several occasions due to his alleged frequent partying during production.
I heard that.
Tight.
Yeah. So this wasn't even a Brian Henson film.
Yeah. It feels different though. And I think that might be why it feels a little more actiony, because oftentimes that's what second unit directors are responsible for, is shooting action.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything without principal actors.
But I do have... Oh, this is something that was just kind of like small, but this is the first major role for Sam Eagle in a Muppets movie. Did you know that, Joe?
Huh. I guess so, because he's
Yeah.
always been like a
Yeah.
side character. I mean, because he was only like the school teacher in Muppet Christmas Carol, and before that, I'm trying to think. He appeared on the show, and he would always introduce like Wayne and Wanda, who were church people, but yeah, it's funny that you mention it, because I guess I never really thought about it, but yeah, huh.
Yeah. Then I have two recastings for Long John Silver that I would have liked to see both of these, but I do love Tim Curry. It is David Bowie and Mick Jagger.
Oh my God.
And this one I can hold
David
off until
Bowie.
we do Hook, but I feel like since it's right here in this list, I feel like now's a good time as any. Is David Bowie was also considered for Captain Hook in Hook.
Oh my God, that would have been
Instead
so
of David
weird.
It's
Dustin Hoffman.
David Hoffman.
David Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman.
I was looking at David
Dustin
Bowie.
Hoffman's less famous, less talented brother.
I was looking at David Bowie, and I was like, David Hoffman.
I can't imagine that, because Dustin
No.
Hoffman is so wonderful in that role.
I love Hook. I love
Yeah.
Robin Williams, but I love Dustin Hoffman's performance in that.
He's great.
It's so good.
Smee, I'm going to kill myself. Smee, don't you dare try to stop me. Smee, don't you dare try to stop me.
Smee,
try to
stop me.
Stop me, I've got a gun to my head. Smee.
Oh yeah, I have it on the list. Yeah, this is one that I really, really want to do. I love Hook, and I've been watching Hook since I was like 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan.
I tried to steal it from my grandma's house multiple times. We can talk about that when we do Hook.
Tried to pirate it from your grandma's house.
Yes.
Should Hook be the next one?
Do you guys want to do Hook for the next one?
I mean, we've got a theme, I guess.
It's gonna be the
Pirates.
pirate podcast.
This is the pirate podcast.
And then after that, we do Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Pirates have taken over the podcast. Yarr.
God damn it.
There she casts.
I mean, I really love Hook.
It's a good movie.
Okay, well, we're not going to be talking about next week's episode because we're going to wrap up this. Final thoughts from you guys. I mean, generally, we all loved it.
This movie's fucking solid gold is what it is.
Fucking Muppets are an American treasure, whether they're on planets or
In space.
or in New York, in Manhattan.
Or having a caper.
Or having a caper.
Or they're most wanted.
Yeah.
Or they're
they
most
are
wanted.
the most wanted.
Or they're telling a Christmas carol. Doesn't matter. Fucking Muppets.
Muppets.
That's it.
Muppets need to be in everything.
Damn right.
So, thank you guys for listening to the podcast. As always, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nostalgitis, NOSTALGITIS, or you can email us at nostalgiaeffectpod@gmail.com. On any of those things, you can give us suggestions and feedback, or you can rate and review us on iTunes, because I don't think anybody's done that yet.
Yeah, we have.
I mean, we've not gotten any reviews on iTunes, but we've gotten some
stars.
Some stars.
I got some stars on there.
Yeah.
But
Pants full of starfish.
Ooh, you and your hobbies. But thank you guys so much. Don't forget to be kind and rewind.
Hey guys, you want to hear the rest of the Muppets I can impersonate?
No.
Oh.
Hit the button. Hit the button.